This week on the Summit, we look at the matches from the week before this week because we decided to have a life last week. We also look at Mike Carlson versus Zipper as the Irrigatum League continues to go in this tournament. We're also going to talk about Critically Acclaimed versus Schmoedown and Mike Kalinowski versus Jared Habon. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Take 3's Schmoedown Reactors Summit. I am not Kristen Smith, the usual host. If you didn't know that, you obviously don't watch the Summit a lot, but I am Mattman Kearns. With me today, we have a pretty awesome panel. I'm going to go first to Tim Smith. How are you doing today, Tim?
Very good, Matthew. Good to be back. Good to talk some Schmoedown.
We also have a new reactor. He was just on the reactions from yesterday. Peter Bowler, how are you doing today, man?
I am doing great. Glad to be back, and let's get ready to Schmoedown.
We also have Take 3 regular Malcolm Lay. How are you doing today? Malcolm is a man of few words on the Summit. We also have Hunter Chambless. How you doing, buddy?
How's it going, everybody? Thank you for having me on this summit, and let's talk some Schmoedown.
What the hell is happening here?
Oh my god, two Malcolms.
Two Malcolms. What flashpoint shit is this? God damn it, Barry!
He has a twin about.
Are you good, Malcolm?
Yeah, my laptop's going nuts.
Okay. Do you want?
So I'm just switching to my phone.
Okay. We're keeping the intro for you, by the way, of you not saying anything. Sorry, but you know.
Good intro. Good intro.
You got it. We just got it. All right. So Malcolm, while you deal with that. So of course, as I said in the little, I guess, do we call it cold open? I don't know what Kristen calls it. Promo? Whatever. Yeah, that. We also have Abe here. I didn't want to say he was here because, you know, it's Abe. What does he really do? But we're going to talk about the matches from the week before this one. Just serve quick. First, we have, of course, the first of the Intergeekdom tournament, Cushing versus Carfy. I'm just going to go around. Tim, what did you think about this match? Just your quick sort of thoughts on it.
A lot of hype, a lot of talk built up on one side, but it was a quick squash match, but, you know, because Rachel did come out with a KO, so.
Yeah. Hunter, what did you think about this match?
I'm going to echo what Tim said. There was a lot of trash talk from the Viper squad coming in. Jay Washington hypes up a match like no other. But it's Rachel Cushing, you know. She is one of the greats in the IG League, and she showed why. Second round KO. You know, it was a squash match. You know, McCarty tried her best, and she held in there a little bit, but just that second round was not in her favor.
Yeah, definitely. Peter, what did you think about this match?
I thought that it showed that Rachel Cushing is on the level of Jason Nimitz at the very least, and that being a rookie in the league is definitely hard. You know, a lot harder than some people would think. You know, it takes a lot to do the matches, and you can make a lot of rookie mistakes, and that was shown in this match.
Malcolm, what did you think about this match?
Yeah, this match was an interesting match. I mean, once I just echo what everyone else say, it shows why Rachel belongs in a geekdom and why it's pretty much her wheelhouse. It's what she knows a lot of, and Mark here showed that she probably got to the lights nervous about facing Rachel. I don't know what was going through her head in that match, but it's like she really didn't show up in that match, but Yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean, the questions. Yeah, but the questions were sort of slightly easy, so unfortunately would have got them. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I pretty much sentiments of and a reaction that actually didn't get posted. Now that I come to think about it, what can you do? I give McCarthy a lot of credit for going up against someone like Rachel Cushing for her first match ever to be, in the Schmoedown, but Rachel kind of just came out swinging. I think this match kind of brought up something that's more just me, and we don't really have to get into it, but kind of like, how do you, when you get a league like Inner Geekdom that is very new and there's not a lot of players, what is the best way? Because honestly, is it good to put newbies like McCarthy up against established players like Rachel Cushing? Like, I know there were all these call-outs, but I've never competed in the Schmoedown. If I go to the Schmoedown and I call out John Roca, should I just be able to compete against John Roca? Like, I've never competed before. What right do I have? That just sort of, for me, and maybe it's just because of the tournament when they're expanding, but that's a little behind-the-scenes stuff that we probably won't know. But let's move on to the next match, the match that I'm sure people are really mad that we're not going to spend half an hour on, but c'est la vie. We have Ethan Irwin versus Drew McWeeny. Of course, Ethan Irwin walked away with the win on this one, establishing his place as one of the great up-and-comers in the Schmoedown. Malcolm, what did you think about this match?
Yeah, this was it was really good because it was a kind of a lower scoring match. It was a close match, which is what I expected from both McWeeny and Ethan. And I have to give full credit to Drew. He pointed out that he said Patriot Day, not Patriots Day, and when someone's honest like that, it's like, well, it's good.
Yes, it is. That is, I do give Drew McWeeny, he could have easily gone away with that, but outstanding guy. Peter, what did you think about this match?
I thought that, Drew said that, he was kind of having an off match, which you could kind of see when he missed 3 of the 4 first-round questions, and that it was a really great match in the second and third round. But I think that you could kind of tell that Drew was having an off day, so you were not sure if he was going to be able to pull out the big answers that were definitely in his mind, but just weren't right at the top. You could definitely see that. And then Ethan, for now, if he can get a #1 contender shot for the title, he almost certainly has the Rookie of the Year title down, I would say, because besides right now Eric Zipper from World's Finest, there's no huge competition. Maybe Janine, but he's definitely huge in the Schmoedown right now.
Tim, what did you think about this match?
It was good with these two Titans from the beginning when Drew came in, the Godfather. I expected no less with this match. It was going to be close. Ethan Irwin came away with the victory, and it really does solidify him, I think, in signals to get closer to that title to take on Sam Levine. Now, could he beat Sam Levine? I don't know, because I followed Sam from the beginning, and he's involved in one of those players that have just really just gotten amazingly good. But we'll find that out later on. But this match, it was very good all the way down to the end. And if I was Stad, I'd be running from Drew McWeeny right now because I don't think he's happy.
Yeah. Hunter, what did you think about this match?
Oh, yeah, it was back and forth. It was such a good Titan versus Titan matchup because both of these guys know their knowledge. And when they went in there, you expected a bloodbath. McWeeny was off his game a little bit, missing 3 out of the 4, but he came back in the second round, came back in the third round, nearly won it, and Ethan just got that 5-pointer and won. mean, it was back and forth. Just a fun, epic match.
Yeah, this was a really great match. I think, like as it said, this was just an off day for McWeeny, and that's not taken away from Irwin. I think, and this will make some of the Line fans angry, maybe, but I think even if McWeeny was on his game, I could still have seen Ethan walk away with the win, because I think Ethan has, with Free For All, with the other stuff he's been doing in singles, I think he's established himself as an extremely well-balanced and knowledgeable Schmoedown player. And so I would be interested to see who he goes up against next, and if he does make it to Sam Levine or whoever's holding the belt by then, we could be seeing the makings of a champ here. But so now that that's out of the way, let's get into the first match of the week. That, of course, is going to be Mike Carlson versus Eric Zippert. Now we're going to start with the cold opening, which is Thad telling Stacey Howard and Janine the Machine and Jay Washington, their manager, that they are going to be facing Mark and Draco in a three-way match at Collision. Now, not only do we see that this match is going to happen, and we're seeing two members of the Viper Squad, we saw Jay Washington very angry, we also saw that Mike Kalinowski was holding a note. Very, very, we know Mike Kalinowski now. We're going to get into this a little later on, but let's just start with that. What's he planning? Who knows? But let's get into the actual match. Mike Carlson, of course, he showed up. The answer man, he kind of had a very, I don't really care attitude with this, but you know what? Sometimes it's helped in the Schmoedown. We've seen, the people who don't really get into the matches, they can do extremely well, because sometimes if you don't care, if you're going what Jeremy Johns did very well in Inner Geekdom, and he always just went out there just wanting to answer the questions and didn't care about the storylines or anything. We kind of saw that with Mike Carlson. Eric Zipper, of course, was very excited to not be breaking away from his team, but kind of, this is a guy who definitely knows his Inner Geekdom stuff, and I think he was excited to take place in this match. So we start off with round one. Mike Carlson, funny enough, I took down, he answered all these questions in third person, which I just found extremely funny. He would just say, the answer man says it's first contact. Of course, the round was very back and forth. It ended in a tie of 5-5. We then move on to round two. Eric Zipper spins first, and he gets spinner's choice and chooses the MCU. He walks away with 8 points, going to multiple choice only twice. Of course, MCU, despite the fact he was wearing a Superman shirt, because, guys, you can like both, he did extremely well. Definitely spinner's choice helped him out. Carlson goes up, he spins, he lands on Star Trek. On his second spin, I believe he landed on Heroes first. Mm-hmm. He walks away with only 6 points, having to go to multiple choice 3 times, and Eric Zipper steals a point. The round ends 11-14 in Zipper's favor. Round 3, Mike Carlson sadly misses all of his points, and Eric Zipper wins by TKO. Now, what did you guys think about this match? Honestly, I thought this was a fine match. I thought Mike was a little off. Maybe I don't know. He did answer questions. Listen, but I don't know if maybe it's this character he's trying to form. He wasn't great. Sure. Hunter, what did you think about this?
Yeah, it was a fun match, and both guys went in there to just have fun, answer questions, and really, they want to win, but as you pointed out, Mike Carlson is that laid back, I'm going to answer questions the best I can. If you like that, like me. If not, then forget you. Zipper went in there trying to win, and it worked out in his favor, spinner's choice, going to MCU. It was a very fun back-and-forth match, a low-scoring match, but again, they just went in there to have fun, and I had enjoyment watching it.
Peter, what did you think about this match?
I thought that Mike Carlson, as he is in Screen Junkies movie fights, always entertaining. One of my favorite fighters on there, and he brings that entertainment value to this match. He actually said in his post-match interview that he answered all the questions and that was his goal. But in the third round, he actually didn't answer his three-pointer. He just kind of sat there quietly. So I just thought that was kind of humorous myself. But yeah, he a decent showing from him, just not probably not at the top of his game. Eric Zipper branching out a little bit from World's Finest and just doing a great job in this match.
Tim, what did you think about this match?
It was close for the first 2 rounds, and you could see for Carlson in round 3 is kind of when the wheels started falling off. I think it kind of started falling off whenever he got Star Trek, and he wasn't too confident with that. Granted, I've been cheering for them to get Star Trek for the past 2 weeks, but in round 3, the wheels fell off for Carlson, and he just couldn't at least take it to Zipper answering some questions so it wouldn't be a TKO. But regardless, we're going to see more of the guy. So, hopefully his next match he'll have a lot better showing. He'll be on his game, not having an off day. But that happens with competitors. Sometimes you have your off day.
Yeah. Malcolm, what did you think about this match?
Yeah, it was a very interesting match. I mean, Mike just went in with the same sort of demeanor that he had when he first debuted in the Geekdoms. That's the whole not caring, just coming out to compete and ultimately coming up to loss. I was really impressed with Eric Zipper though, because this is the first time we've seen him away from his team, and he showed that he is really good on his own as much as he is with the team as well. So that was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And now to get into the post-match stuff, post-match interviews, Eric Zipper was very humble in his win, and when he was asked who he wanted to face, he called out Mike Kalinowski. Who knows if anything's going to come of this? It's very possible that he could. That's the thing about tournaments. You can call someone out, but you have to serve. It's where you lie. And when we get into the next match, I don't even know how this tournament is working. But Mike Carlson, of course, he didn't really care that he lost. But we also found out that he wants to compete in regular singles, which, I would definitely like to see. Moving on, we also had a post-credit scene where Ken Knapsack was given a letter by Take 17's own JP. We don't know what's in this letter. We can assume that this is from Kalinowski, and so now it's the Summit's favorite time, speculation time. What's in the letter? What's in the letter? What's in the letter? Just real quick. What?
Am I supposed to do a graphic for what's in the letter?
I don't know if you want to. Just have it.
I'm gonna do one.
Put Brad Pitt from 7 in there. Oh, just what's in this? What's in the letter?
Okay.
So real quick, we don't have to spend a long time on this. Tim, what do you think? Do you think this could be? He has something on Ken, or he's telling him that there's a match happening. What do you think is in this letter to Ken Knapsack? And do you not think it's from Kalinowski? If you don't, go ahead and say that.
I don't think it'd be from Kalinowski, because the look on Ken's face was more not irritated by being told you have a match. It looked more like one of those creepy horror movies. Like he's like, what the hell is going on? Like it just seemed like it was a cold letter saying something cryptic, like I know what you did last summer type of crap. And I mean, hopefully in the next few weeks we'll find out what that is. And I mean, it could be anything. It could be that, or he could have found out he has a kid in Bolivia. He just found out about. But
knowing Ken, I would not be surprised.
But it could be anything, Matt. And hopefully we'll see more on it. But I think it's something more that they're playing, because that look on his face, it has to be something character personal or something in that nature, I would feel, with the look on his face.
Yeah, Hunter, besides the kid thing, what do you think could possibly be in this letter?
See, I do think it's from Mike, but I may be going way off point, but I think it'd be really intriguing to see Mike join the Lions Den and maybe make it an alliance with Ken and the Lions Den and kind of being their inner geekdom player now. You have Donica, but having Mike Kalinowski, I mean, that would be a big pull for the Lions Den.
Peter, what do you think is in this letter?
One of my favorite theories right now is that Knapsack is going to take over the Lions Den in some form and become the new manager and kind of push Tom Dagnino out, or Tom Dagnino is going to leave.
Sorry. Just get out. There's no place for this Dagnino being pushed aside. Just no, continue, but get out.
And so I think that this could be kind of a thing where Kalinowski is kind of planting the seeds of overthrowing Tom Dagnino, or at least attempting to in Knapsack. So I think that would be an interesting storyline to kind of have the evils kind of break up, if you would.
It would be interesting, and I think for Mike and sort of trying to become the ultimate heel, trying to sort of take down everything, Tom Dagnino is certainly a man that stands in his way. Malcolm, what do you think could possibly be in this letter?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's from Kalinowski, because when you think about it, both Kalinowski and Ken are actually quite similar, because both after their losses have blamed corruption, the system, and a whole bunch of screwy stuff happening in the league. So, I mean, it could be. And, I mean, honestly, I think Kalinowski's throwing bombs into every faction, trying to get them to explode and all factions to disappear. Because, I mean, this comes in with the first post-credit scene where he pits Viper Squad members together. So he might have planted seed, maybe even pretended it that it was from Tom Dagnino, and tried to plant seeds of doubt within the Lions Den, and for it just to all implode on itself.
Mm-hmm. See, going along with this sort of fault line of Mike is just trying to break up all the factions, I don't think it was actually a letter. I think it was actually a picture of Tom Dagnino and Sam Witwer working out at a gym and watching Star Wars together.
Maybe that was the look of horror.
That's the look. It's the look of
yeah.
like, wait, come on, that's what we do.
Oh, that would be a great fan fiction.
Who said that? Oh, God, please. Okay, we're going to go on to the next match. We're just going to push past that. The next match, of course, is the undercard to Habon versus Kalinowski, which is Critically Acclaimed versus MODOK. Sorry, Chris Clark, that this was an undercard, but it was. So, of course, Critically Acclaimed, they're coming off of... We haven't seen both of these teams in a while. Well, we saw MODOK a little bit more recently, but this was sort of a big thing for both of these teams to sort of move on the team league. So, of course, we begin with the funniest entrances, the Bill and Ted. They both... I don't know where they came up with this, but honestly, I'm a huge Bill and Ted fan, so I found this whole thing hilarious. That was just awesome. But moving into when round one began, it was very evident from the beginning, and she even will talk about this later in the post-match interview. Greg Drake had a very off day, which happens to everyone. You have to think she hasn't competed in a while, and she just wasn't there. Matt actually, he kind of showed up. He came to play for MODOK, sorry, old habits die hard with a vengeance. But the round, of course, ends 8-12 in favor of Critically Acclaimed. Critically Acclaimed had a very good round one. I think free-for-alls and even just in singles matches, Bibbiani has proven round one. He's definitely a king of round one. And we move into round two. Critically Acclaimed spins first, and they get animation. They gain 7 points, and MODOK is unable to capitalize on any steal opportunities. like Olaf the reindeer. I've seen that movie once, and even I knew who Olaf was. But regardless, Witney Seibold would probably kick my butt in a trivia match that wasn't Star Wars or Indiana Jones or Kurt Russell. So, MODOK spins. They sadly get opponent's choice, and Critically Acclaimed gives them Westerns, and they walk away with 9 points. They played it pretty safe with multiple choice, but Matt actually apparently knows his Westerns, which helped them out in the round, and 17-19 in favor of Critically Acclaimed. And I guess a repeat thing, I don't know what it is about this week. MODOK sadly misses all 3 of their round 3 questions, and the match ends in a TKO. Oh, God. Of course, post-match, Critically Acclaimed, they're looking forward to the path to possibly the Shire Wolves, whoever they're going to play next. Jeff Snyder, of course, interrupts the post-match interview, says he's going to beat Bibbiani. MODOK, they decide that time travel entrances in them and winning don't work, so they're not going to do them anymore. So we apologize for everyone who wanted them to do a Time Bandits intro. We're not going to do it anymore. Great Drake, like I said, she admitted to having an off day. And Matt actually wants to give a try to singles, and he would like to go up against Mark Ellis, which could be a very interesting match. So, Malcolm, what did you think about Critically Acclaimed versus MODOK?
This match was definitely a fun match. It shouldn't have been the undercard. But that aside, I mean, match, it was what it was. It was a good match between like 2 great teams. I mean, it's one of those ones like I was rooting for Critically Acclaimed the whole time. Not that I didn't doubt MODOK, but especially after like the round 1 they had, it's like they need to pull out something good to actually be able to get past them, which they did. They got a good spin on the wheel and managed to put it up close to a 2-point difference, but sadly they just missed out on all the round 3 questions, and Critically Acclaimed got the win. It was just really fun to watch.
Yeah. Peter, what did you think about this match?
I thought that had Grey Drake just had a slightly better round 1, she went 2 of 8. If she would have had a little bit better, they might possibly gotten a win, or even just possibly just gone a little bit further in round 3, which would have made it a lot more of an interesting match. But it was still a really fun match. It was great to see them really come back in round 2. Made Chris really nervous, so that was kind of fun. It was a really fun match. I'm really excited to see Matt actually go back into singles. I really like his laid-back personality. I think Ellis is the perfect opponent for him. You know, they're both super laid back, and so that would just be it'd be a bro match, almost. Yeah.
Tim, what did you think about this match?
Well, I'm kind of disappointed because now I won't get to see my Clockstoppers entrance by MODOK, but that's understandable. I was going to go with Time Cop, but I was thinking Clockstoppers more.
Dude, Time Cop, yeah.
But, I mean, it really was. Like, yeah, Great Drake had her off round in round 1, and what always happens in team rounds, in round 3, they switch numbers. If they would have had each other's numbers, it would have been a different story. And it seems to happen a lot with teams, especially with them. But it happens. It's the roll of the dice with them. I think Ellis would be a good matchup with Atchity. I'd love to just sit back and watch the entrances alone, because that's going to be great. Probably CPR to another carrot while Mike Atchity comes back from vacation from Honolulu. Who knows? And Snyder coming in to challenge the Beast. I really think this is more Critically Acclaimed becoming more faces out of that heel persona, which I'm fine with because, you know, I hate the Patriots. But I want to see more from MODOK, where they get that win they need to move on in the team division, because kind of like what was harkened on, they're kind of like that stepping stone. The ones that beat them go on to face champions, win championships, kind of like Above the Line, Patriots, all these teams. Critically Acclaimed could be next. Only time's going to tell.
Definitely. Hunter, what did you think about this match?
I'm going to agree with this match should not be an undercard match because this match was awesome, back and forth. Both teams know their stuff. They know their trivia. And MODOK is always impressive, but they always come out on the losing end. They always give a good fight, and so does a Critically Acclaimed. Sorry, mouthful. But both teams gave it their all. They went back and forth. Just MODOK couldn't get a question in round 3, which, to be honest, would probably be my weak point. And I know it's Bibbs. You know, Bibbs doesn't have a great round 3 record either. But both teams did great job, back and forth, and I enjoyed this match.
Yes, this was definitely a fun match, and a lot of you guys already talked about it. I think the only reason why this was an undercard was just because we have the tournament going on right now, and that's literally the only way. Because I don't know how the schedule works. Because of course next week we have just 200 Geekdom matches and a Patreon match, but I think that's why it was an undercard. Chris Clark, very mad, wanted it to be the main event. But I thought this was a great match. I was upset MODOK is still one of my favorite teams, of course. But I'm just upset because now this affects them playing more. But Critically Acclaimed, this does help them to... They're moving on. Are they going to take on the Shire Wolves? I don't know. Right now, that seems like the only team that I think records-wise they kind of match up with. And I feel like the winner of that would probably go on to face Patriots, Above the Line, whoever is champions after Collision. Patriots.
No.
We're going to move on.
No.
We're going to move on. Hey, okay. Let's see. Panelist, host. Just saying. But we're going to transfer over to our own Chris Clark. Actually got to sit down and interview Critically Acclaimed. So we're going to go to that right now.
All right, guys, I am here. I think for the first time I've interviewed these guys pretty much every single match they've had this season. One way or another, I've gotten to talk to both of them after their matches, and this time I have them both at the same time. Hey, Bibbs and Witney, I'm so glad you guys could make it.
Growl to you, sir.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
It is. It's awesome. I can't wait for this. So, this is Critically Acclaimed versus MODOK. I'm going to go right into this. Let me know, how do you guys feel about your match being the undercard of Kalinowski?
Oh my god, I've never been more offended in my life. I want to like rip out all the set fixtures and throw them at Christian.
What we're doing, we're raising money, so we've already built the studios, and we're going to have a remake of our match. We're going to write and direct it ourselves. Mark Hamill is interested.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's going to play me. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. That would be amazing.
I'm a little surprised too, because we're both like kind of major like contenders right now. Like the next,
as of now,
whoever won the match, we would we should get a contender spot after that. So you'd think it'd be kind of a big deal. But you know, Kalinowski's got moves.
Yeah.
It's serious drama
that he doesn't necessarily need to make, but there he has
He's
them.
making
He's going
them.
to use them.
Yep. So I get it. I'm mildly offended, but I'll live.
Same with me. All right, going into this, guys, I'm actually interested. How long have you known Gray and Matt actually before going into this match? What was your mindset? Did you feel a little hesitant because I'm assuming they're very good friends of yours?
I've known Gray longer than I've known William, actually.
Yeah,
I was on her podcast back when she was doing something called the Popcorn Mafia, which I think is still available. I think you can look up old back episodes of that one.
Yeah, I did a few of those too, but I met her through Witney. So we've known Gray around 10 years or so.
About a decade.
Matt got to know some time in the last 6 or 7 years, back when he was running Rotten Tomatoes, and we were both professional film critics, and we would see each other at screenings a lot. And so they're just nice people who are really good at their jobs. Matt is like one of the most like talented and professional business people I think in the entire industry. I would say
he's got a good head for business, and he's not an asshole, which is hard to pull off.
Dude, that combination is difficult. And Gray is one of the most effervescent human beings on the planet. She is
off camera, kind of the same she is on. She's
exactly the same.
I got the thing of that. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, and she has been like, if you want to learn how to like interview celebrities, watch her stuff. She is engaged, she's exciting, she asks good questions, and she puts together really funny material. She dresses up, so she's kind of always had the right vibe for the Schmoedown to begin with, and that's one of the reasons why we were really excited to play them, is because they put on a good show, we try to put on a good show, and we thought together we'd have a good show. I don't know how I haven't, at the time of recording, I haven't heard any reactions to it, so I hope it turned out good.
It came out amazing. And actually, going into that, this is the first time we've seen two teams have this pretty much the same entrance. How did you guys come up with the Bill and Ted entrance?
I think that was all you, wasn't it?
Well, I started talking with Gray because she and I are both super about the entrances, and Matt and Witney are too, but it's more me and Gray that get excited about it.
Yeah, we tend to go along more than we tend to invent, so
yeah. So I talked to Gray, and I was like, you guys do good intros, we do good intros, what can we do that would be sort of thematically fun? And we came up with a bunch of like foursome costumes, but we thought it would be more entertaining in the long run do one that of itself kind of narrative, and so that led us to two Bill and Teds, because then we could do the scene at the moment where there are two groups of Bills and Teds. And also, I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the cheaper costumes we came up with. So like, times are hard all over. So but like we ended up becoming a fun little thing, and I was surprised no one had done it before. So yeah, that was cool. I think people use the music, but I don't think people have done
Bill and Ted.
I think they did. No.
I don't know. Bill and Ted, are they still in the public eye?
Oh yeah, people like Bill and Ted.
I guess they're doing a third one now, so people are thinking about them again.
Well, Ted never left. People like Bill and Ted. Yeah, they're fun.
People don't talk about the Deedles much anymore.
Well, most people didn't bother to meet the Deedles, but the Deedles, really? That's where you went from Bill and Ted to the Deedles?
Or the guys from Biodome. I forgot the names.
No one wants to remember the guys. That would be a question of the Schmoedown now. Great. Button.
That's right, Bud and Doyle.
Bud and Doyle.
Let's say
done.
Bucky and Pukey.
Iron Man, does whatever an iron can.
Also, it's interesting because they have a very ill-fated television series too, by the way. Bill and Ted, yeah.
They had an animated series, a action series we've covered on our podcast.
Yep, indeed. That's why I found it really interesting. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go right into the actual match itself. Round 1, you guys ended with 12 points to a surprising performance by MODOK, only getting 8. What were your thoughts on round 1 and how you guys did?
I think we did okay.
Yeah, there wasn't one where I kind of had like a complete loss. Like I feel like I was concentrating pretty well. I was able to get a lot of those ones.
If memory serves, I missed 2. One was Billy Batgate, a movie no one talks about. I don't feel too guilty about it.
I don't feel bad if we all miss it. Like, and all 4 of us missed the Billy Batgate question.
And
so we're good.
I think the other one I missed was the Ice Age question, which is how many Ice Age movies? And the answer is too many, but like I don't think that would count. So you know, that would. I don't feel too bad about those. Obviously, I would have liked to have done even better, but I think we're our goal with MODOK, because MODOK's a really good all-around team. They have a wide swath of knowledge, but that can hinder them in rounds where they have to know everything about every movie. So what we knew going in was if we beat MODOK in the first round, we've probably beat MODOK.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure we had a bit of a lead, and we did. But man, it was they came back around and round 2 for a minute.
We chose a category we thought they would have no knowledge. It turns out Matt Atchity just had like a different knowledge of westerns than we could have ever hoped.
I gotta stop picking westerns when I get Spinner's opponent's choice. I gotta stop doing it.
You're underestimating it.
Not.
It's still the hard category, like for me personally, which is why I think I was leaning on.
Yeah.
But nobody could possibly know that much about westerns, except Matt Atchity.
Cool. Do you guys have any regrets with that, with going into round 2, with giving them westerns and actually how you did in round 2? Again, Olaf the reindeer. I mean, that was a great moment, Witney.
I don't regret giving them Westerns because ultimately, although they did rally really, really well, that's to their credit, we did knock them out. So clearly it worked out okay. So I don't regret that. I regret not checking your answer. That was really embarrassing.
That was really embarrassing.
I just trusted you, and I should have just, next time, I'm just going to, we should both say, but what is it?
But what, yeah, say it out loud.
Because I would have known, I didn't remember the name of the reindeer, but I knew it wasn't Olaf.
All right.
So that was embarrassing. So I regret that.
Nobody saw Frozen anyway. Nobody cares.
I'm quoted on the DVD of Frozen.
I know you are. You're on the back.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, listen, it worked out good. I think animated, we did okay. I think we got a couple of hard questions that were, relatively easy for us. So I think we acquitted ourselves, even though altogether, considering we played the 2 rounds, this is not the best we've ever played. But screw it, we knocked them out, so we did okay.
Yeah, I mean, the
goal.
I'll go for winning. You learn this pretty quick. The goal is not necessarily to be the best; it's just to be slightly better than your opponents. And while we want to be the best, luckily we were just better than our opponents this time around. So,
so sometimes that's all it takes.
It was a balance of us doing okay and them doing just not okay enough.
Yeah, that 3rd round was really hard on them. I felt kind of bad.
Yeah. Well, Matt actually got a question about LA Confidential, which is a movie you might have seen like 100 times. So
I guarantee you that was just a brain fart.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that.
That was me saying Olaf the reindeer. So he probably like on a better day or had one more cup of coffee would have been able to have it. But
he knows who Kim Basinger is. I'm sure he kicked himself driving home. It was
he just went White Room. In theater, it's White Room. You just go White Room for no reason. It just happens. Actually, going into round 3, this is your. I think every time you've won, you've gotten a TKO or a KO. So, does that give you confidence moving forward into the? You're in championship territory right now.
I don't know what just winning straight looks like, so I'm going to have to find that out.
Even when we did the late to the party match, we did okay in round 3. Like we put up a lot of points. What I think the ongoing narrative of my singles career is the 3rd round usually screws me. If I can avoid the 3rd round, I'm good. Then that's what we do. The 3rd round is scared of Critically Acclaimed. I think that's the 3rd round is just like, we want nothing to do with them. Nothing. Nope. Just kill the other team. Just get them out of there. We're good. So that's a strategy that's working really, really well for us. I think that's kind of what we do is we just put a ton of points up on the board and we challenge our opponents to play catch up. And I think that level of intimidation works, adds a little bit of extra pressure. So far it's working out really good. And I feel really, really good about us as a team. I really do.
But we work well together, that's for sure. I think William's doing most of the heavy lifting, but I can pick up the parts he's dropping off.
I've played the game more than you. I think there were some jokes in our DC Movie News match about how it looked like I was doing round 2 all myself. No, we were running it by it. I just kind of took talking. Which was just arbitrary, and I felt kind of guilty about it afterwards.
It's okay. You're the pen to my teller.
There you go. Witney knows all of this stuff. Like everything I know, pretty much Witney knows, with the exception of a couple of things, and vice versa. So we complement each other really well, and that's why we can really dominate in round 1 and really put all those points on the board because we both have a wide swath of knowledge.
Indeed, awesome. Yeah, you guys have super chemistry, and you're a great team. It's why you guys are fantastic. So going into you guys won. The post-match interviews, you guys kind of alluded to going and challenging the Shire Wolves. How do you guys think of a potential matchup with Rachel and Clark?
I mean, here's the thing. At this point, we've won 2 in a row. We won 3 overall. We've always won by a KO. So all the teams that are left for us to play right now are going to be really, really powerful. So I'm intimidated by pretty much anyone in our path, including the Shire Wolves. That being said, I would love to play the Shire Wolves because I'm friends with Rachel. I'm friends with Clark. They're nice people and they know their stuff. And I would love to go head to head with them and just put up like an official competition. I've never competed against either of them. What about you? What do you think?
I don't want to because they'll kick our asses.
Well, that's fair.
So I'm looking forward to the challenge, but yeah, I'm a little intimidated by Rachel and Clark because they're great people. Are Shire Wolves like a thing out of Tolkien, or is it a name?
No. Okay, there's the Shire from The Hobbit, and then there are dire wolves, which are an actual thing, but they're
Game of Thrones.
Lately, they're best known for their appearances on Game of Thrones, and so Clark is a wolf. because she is Clark Wolf.
Clark Wolf, yeah.
And Rachel's specialty in Inner Geekdom is The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, so you combine them together, you got the Shire Wolves.
Okay.
It's a good name.
All right.
I like it.
Well, we just have to keep her away from fantasy, which is my weak spot anyway.
I'm fine with it. Don't tell people your weaknesses.
I'm gonna cut that out.
No.
They can do research. They know where I'm weak.
What was what was your Harry Potter answer at the free for all was hilarious.
Oh, it was
Beowulf.
What was the first name of Ron's mom? And I had no idea the first name of Ron's mom, so I answered Beowulf. And yeah, it's like, I don't know. So why not Beowulf? Something mythic.
Because it's a stupid name.
It's a real name.
It is a real. How many Beowulfs do you know personally?
At least 3.
Okay, fair enough.
There's Beowulf.
Wow, this is riveting. This is riveting. Okay. So actually,
it's all this.
It's this for about like 2 hours.
110%. Actually, I'm actually interested in this. What are your thoughts on both of you on the new Horsemen? Since Bibbs, you're a former member, there's now the 5 Horsemen. I'm curious what your thoughts are, and if you were like more successful in the actual league and you stayed with the Horsemen, would have Witney eventually become one of the Horsemen? I'm interested.
There were already 4 of you. I don't think there was room for me.
Well, now there's 5. There's 5.
Oh yeah, now there's 5. I'm curious if that was ever on the table.
I think here's my thing with the horse persons. Original horse persons were kind of doomed to failure, and I blame a lack of management. I think we were all just kind of in it to win it. There was all these alpha personalities, and then me off to the side being awkward, and we were all competing for the same things, and we didn't have for the horse persons the type of managers that the league has now. We didn't have an Emma Fife. We didn't have a Jay Washington. Technically, Dagnino existed, but like we see like the leagues that are the what are we calling them? The clans, the
factions.
The factions. Thank you.
Yeah. Something from a young adult novel.
Yeah, the guilds. We see them now, and everyone seems more organized and more as a team. When the horse persons came together, it was kind of every person for themselves, and that led to infighting, and it led to I think a perpetual animosity, which we're still dealing with between me and Roka in particular. So hopefully they can listen for their sake. Hopefully they can avoid that. That being said, they once again have a whole lot of alphas in there, and I think it's only a matter of time before they could have to compete against each other, or one person surpasses another, and that leads to more drama. That's what happened to us. Why not them? We'll see. That said, Brett, why not?
Yeah.
All those guys are great. So we'll see is the answer to most of these questions.
Yeah, exactly. So I have only we're in the home stretch here for Witney. You recently wrote an article about your ranking of your Star Wars movies, which is pretty controversial.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have any inkling of going into the Star Wars division? I want to hear this. This has to happen. This has to happen. You know, Bibbs would love that.
Imagine inviting like a Scrabble aficionado to a D&D tournament. It's just not the same game. It wouldn't be a good fit at all. I would just get in people's faces. I remembered once we were talking about Rogue One at the Collider office before a match. And this was like right about the time Rogue One had been released, and I just talked about how terrible it was and how much I hated it. And I looked up, and everyone was looking at me as if I was like eating a live pig in front of them. It was just, they were so disgusted with everything I was saying.
Whitney and I, listen, we like some of the Star Wars movies. I like a lot of the Star Wars movies, actually, but we're fans of movies, not fans of Star Wars specifically. And as a result, that gives us the freedom to criticize Star Wars, and that has put me at odds with a lot of people.
Star Wars people.
I've had a lot of sometimes public, sometimes not debates with Christian about Star Wars because he's a way bigger Star Wars nerd than I am, or any most part. So listen, I watched like the live Star Wars match. I would have held together with like the first round. Like I wouldn't have been like screwed. From second round onward, I'm like, you know what? I'm just not gonna watch those movies that often.
Yeah
I'm not gonna watch them 50 million times.
I haven't memorized the films. I don't know the names of like You watch Return of the Jedi, each one of the monsters in the background has a name because they gave it a toy. I wasn't there collecting the toys at the time. I don't know the names of all of those rubber monsters. They're just scenery to me.
Yeah, I don't give a damn. Like I've seen like episodes 1 through 6 probably at least 4 times each over the course of my life. The newer ones at least twice, but the Ewok movies 2 or 3 times. Star Wars special too many. The holiday special too many times.
I've seen them all twice. I saw The Empire Strikes Back 3 times because I saw the special edition of that one.
Okay.
When it came out in theaters, not because I had any affection for it, just was playing.
Right.
And I've seen the holiday special 3 times. That's how it goes for me in Star Wars.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think either of us are going to be joining the Star Wars League anytime soon.
All right. Does that also go for the Inner Geekdom?
You know, I'm interested in Inner Geekdom. There's some places I would need to bone up on. I'm not going to rule out ever doing Inner Geekdom, but, you know, right now they're in the middle of a tournament and everything, and I've long since missed any opportunity I would have had to get started in that. So if I ever do Inner Geekdom, it's going to be a long wait.
Same with you, Witney?
Geekdom kind of guy.
I know. I'm not
Oh,
geek.
not really.
I lost a lot of my geek cred many years ago.
Yeah.
Probably about the time I started writing for Geekscape. That's when the last of my geekdom was already gone.
That's hilarious. All right, guys, last 2 questions. One is about, you don't have a manager anymore. What is the future of the Growling Commandos? Do you have anybody in mind to manage?
We don't really have. Honestly, here's the deal.
I have the perfect manager for us, and he's asleep on the couch.
Okay.
Aww, this better be who I think it is.
Whitney's gonna get our new manager here. He's new. He's new, but he is hungry.
He's young and inexperienced, but he knows what to do. This is Luca. Luca
Luca
is going to be our manager.
Yep, there we go. Breaking news.
Kibble and sleeping, just like us. And is furry and ferocious.
But he's scrappy. He's scrappy. He's not really scrapping at the moment, but he normally would scrap.
He was asleep and he's purring right now. Let me go put him down. It's not
that would be so we're the purring commandos, right? No, honestly, here's what's going on. We are critically acclaimed right now. The Growling Commandos, not really a thing. We're critically is where we're at. We're not really. I'm not ruling out like a expansion in the future, but you know, we're not really looking to be in a faction right now. We are
Ronin.
Yeah, you know, I was having this conversation with actually Drew Guy, and he was talking about how, you know, he's a heel. He's a heel without compare. We're chaotic neutral, I think is fair to say. Like
technically we're heels just because we get to be arrogant, but yeah, we're
honestly, I don't even like being arrogant anymore. I just like being sort of random and bizarre.
Yeah.
So right now we're kind of spoilers in that whole mix. I think that we represent a threat to any team, and indeed anyone in singles. Hopefully you get to play singles at some point in the future.
There's something in the future. That's all I can say.
So that's exciting, and I think we can hold our own with any of those factions. But right now, there's no faction. There's Critically Acclaimed.
Cool. What's your mindset going into Jeff Snyder's match? This is a #1 contenders match.
My goal with Jeff Snyder is not to rattle me. Jeff doesn't have like as elaborate a persona as many of the other heels in the league, like for example Guy or Bateman or hell even. He has this attitude, this really off-putting, I know better than you, Hollywood executive attitude. And I think he talks a lot during each of his matches, and it's easy to let him distract you, rattle you, engage you in conversation. My goal is to get out there, do a good intro, play the game, and not let him screw with me. And if I can do that, then all it boils down to is who knows the most about movies and who gets lucky with the questions. That's all it really is. I've seen Snyder play a lot, and he knows his stuff, but I know my stuff too. And playing at home, I think, especially if round 2 is kind, I think I'm going to be okay. It all depends on the categories that we get.
Just yell, I hear your mom's going out with Squeak!
Yeah!
Awesome. And my final question, actually, this goes into, if you were to beat Snyder today, Bibbs, are you prepared for the speed round for the championship?
Yes. Yes, I am. Oh. Actually, I have at live events actually used the buttons that they use for the speed round. I've played around with them. I've discovered what I think is the secret to using them correctly. And I made the mistake of telling some people what that secret is, and some people have gone on to do very well with it. So I think I'll be okay. But that really that's the hardest thing to predict. Just who's going to be a split second faster. That's all there is to it. So that being said, I'm very eager to see the Iron Person match that they're putting together for the Collision. And I got to tell you, if Sam has the guts, I would like to play him Iron Man style. I think that would be more exciting. Yeah. But I'd rather play with his beloved speed round, do the best I can. But I think, I've played him once before, and I got really screwed over by a new category, and I think I really have a good chance of taking it.
And it's a category they changed after your match.
They found it a little bit. I was the canary in the coal mine on that one, and honestly, I had a bunch of Festival Darling questions since, in the free for all, and I think I knew them all. It's a reasonable category now, but it was just super specialized.
It was eclectic,
to a bizarre degree. So no one was expecting it, and now we know what to expect, and hopefully it'll be better.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. This was a fantastic interview. Thank you, Bibbs and Witney. Witney, where can the good people find you online?
I'm hiding right now. No, I'm online. My reviews are going up on IGN. I have my Twitter, which is @Seibold, and of course we have our collective website, criticallyacclaimed.net, which is where a lot of our writings are being sort of gathered together under one umbrella.
Yeah, original stuff, links to our other content if you just want to read everything we do throughout the web. We have the Critically Acclaimed podcast over the Schmoedown network. That's on Twitter @CriticAcclaim. Because Critically Acclaimed was too long for Twitter. Thanks, Twitter. And we have Cancel Too Soon, which is coming out a bit erratically this month, and that's mostly on me.
William's had a weird schedule.
I've noticed.
It's been hard for me to fit in every single thing I need to do right now, but as of this weekend, I should be able to reset, and we'll be able to get back on track. But we're a half a week behind on that, and that's on me, and I apologize.
That's all good.
Yeah, I need to own it and make sure it doesn't happen again. So we got an episode about the short-lived Ernest P. Worrell series, Hey Vern, It's Ernest, coming up there.
Yeah, I've watched it.
Yet. So it's a real treat. And we have a Patreon page for that, patreon.com/cancel too soon, cancel with 1L. And on that Patreon, there's a tier where people can actually assign me and Witney articles to write for Critically Acclaimed. And I got to tell you, a lot of the article assignments we've had so far are really interesting.
Yeah, really fascinating. We wouldn't have expected.
I love it. When you write for a lot of these big websites, you end up having to write kind of the same things over and over again, just the same type of content. And what's really exciting when people actually have the opportunity to tell film critics what they're interested in reading about, it's not that stuff. People really want some weird, interesting stuff. So we're really excited to really take a deep dive into some bizarre territory.
Yeah.
Oops. Awesome, Bibbs. So, did you say where we could find you? I forget.
I'm at IGN.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
I'm at criticallyacclaimed.net. I'm at the Critically Acclaimed podcast on Schmoedown. I'm at Cancel Too Soon podcast, which is not on Schmoedown. It's a separate thing. And I'm on Twitter at William Bibbiani.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Break a leg, Bibbs, on your match. And I am going to throw it back to you.
Thank you, Clark, so much for that. I know you have nothing but the utmost joy when you interview Bibbs and Witney, so I'm glad, and I do apologize for the RIP Groundling Commandos, buddy. But let's move on to the main event of this week, which is, of course, Mike Kalinowski versus Jared Habon, the third match in the Inner Geekdom tournament. We have I'm going to say just a very odd cold opening to start with, which is William Bibbiani coming up to Ken at the announcer's desk saying he wants his seat. Ken is almost he's not really insulted. He almost just seems like he doesn't really care. He's kind of just okay, William, do you want your spot at the table? Okay. Personally, I thought Bibbs was great on the table. I'd love to see him, but well, Chris Clark is going to hate me. If I had a choice between Ken Knapsack or Bibbiani at the table, I'm going to take Ken Knapsack. But that's just me. This was just it also seemed like it was filmed a while ago, if you pay attention to posters, but I digress. Let's get into this. Jared Habon, of course, in the promos, he was very he was really playing up the hero that, Mike's just become this jerk, and he's, you're going to kick him in the butt. And, he didn't seem really fazed by what Mike has been doing with him recently on Twitter and the MTS page. Mike, of course, just ever more down the slope of just being a jerk. He just loves it. You even see in the intro, everyone's cheering for him. He doesn't want to hear it. Okay, whatever. So we start off round one. Before we even get into the match, Mike takes over the main screen and puts up his logo because Thad's okay with it. We're going to talk about that, right? The round, of course, it's a pretty back and forth. Jared gets a little bit of bad luck. The round ends 8-6 in favor of Mike Kalinowski. Round two, Mike defers to Jared. Jared spins, landing on opponent's choice, Mike giving him Middle Earth. Jared walks away with only 3 points, and Mike is able to steal 3 points. Mike spins, lands on Spare's choice, and chooses DCU. Mike does not miss a single question and knocks out Jared Habon. Post-match interviews, Jared is upset with getting opponent's choice, but he also talks about the fact that besides that, he thought he played pretty well. He would want to face Mike again, maybe without spinners and opponent's choice, and see what happens. And he also talked about how he wants to branch out beyond Innergeekdom. He wants to try his hand at singles, maybe teams. Who knows what's going to happen with that? Mike, of course, I literally just have my first note is just Mike is a jerk to Jen. I hate you so much. Then Thad shows up, of course, and he tries to set up Mike Kalinowski versus Rachel Cushing for the collision match. Of course, we were told that one of the round two of the Innergeekdom tournament matches is going to take place in Innergeekdom. We all thought it was going to be, if Mike won, it was going to be Mike versus Rachel. Mike doesn't want that. Instead, he wants Rachel to play the winner of Donica and Burnett, and Mike's going to call the match. And Thad, of course, is like, cool. So that happened. Then, of course, post-credit scenes, Mike shows up to Thad's office and completely changes his mind from 5 minutes ago. Now he wants to play the winner of Donica and Burnett, and Cushing is going to play Zipper. That was a mouthful for a very short match, come to think of it. Tim, what did you think about this match?
Okay, I've always been a fan of the Schmoedown. I always loved it. I haven't had this much fun with the storyline since the early Decision days, the early Four Horsemen days, the early mostly those two. But I had so much fun with this. It's so much fun to see Kalinowski just doing whatever the hell he wants and having a piece of paper on that, God knows what. And I think that's why we're getting a lot of Innergeekdom matches, a lot more, is to squeeze it in for this tournament, but also playing on that Mike's in charge now of Mike's just going to do whatever the hell he wants. And it's great. I mean, this is quality storyline entertainment with the bad Kalinowski character. He went on, picked somebody for his first victim, picked Jared, KO'd him, hence the nickname of the killer, but KO'd him. Now he's just going to do whatever he wants within this whole tournament. I love the individual single Innergeekdom matches that they're going with to bring in new talent for him. I just hope it doesn't revolve into, I just don't want to face Rachel. And I think they could milk this for a while. It's very, like I said, it's very fun and entertaining for that. The cold opening with Bibbs and Ken, to harken on that real quick, I think maybe that's where that letter came from, and that's the look of like disgust and fear, like, who the fuck wants to take my seat? What? and maybe they're tying in with that. Who knows? We'll find out probably later. But I mean, the Kalinowski, he knocked out his opponent. Now he can literally pick his path to the championship however he wants, and it's going to be very enjoyable. The only thing is, I wonder how they're going to break Thad out of this, because this isn't something you can have happen forever. So I wonder how Thad's going to be broken out of this. That's what we'll find out probably later. But overall, great match, great character heel persona with Kalinowski. I can't wait to see where this goes.
Peter, what did you think about this match?
I thought while it wasn't as good as Critically Acclaimed versus MODOK, it was still very enjoyable, especially in that second round where you knew that Kalinowski had to get 9 points to get the KO, and just kind of the build up to that where he needed the last question and he got it, and that was, a lot of suspense. You didn't want him to get that because, he's a heel, he's controlling everything. It's, that's really horrible, but just that kind of suspense really elevated the match from what would be kind of an match. I think that Kalinowski, he's going to kind of skirt around Rachel Cushing until the championship of the tournament, which that's going to be a terrific match. But I can't wait for Cushing versus him, and that's going to be a much better match, I feel. So yeah,
That's a little subtle thing right there. All right, Hunter, what did you think about this match?
This match was okay. I mean, it was really Kalinowski just showing his dominance, which is something that you need to do with a freshly heel character like Kalinowski, showing that he is where he belongs to Inner Geekdom, and he's going to run through people to show it. I like the coward angle that they're going with him, where, keep me away from Rachel. I don't want to face her right now. He's controlling the board, and at the end he said it's like a chessboard. He's moving the pieces around to make it fit with him. Now, I agree with Tim. How are they going to get that out of this? Because at one point we're going to have Kalinowski versus Cushing, but how is that going to happen? I can't wait for the diamonds to fall into effect.
Malcolm, what did you think about this match?
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Jared. This was he did a match before, but I mean, I'm suspecting, because it's quite coincidental that Jared got opponent's choice and Mike got spinner's choice. So I wonder if Fad was behind the curtain for Magnet make this.
Whoa!
I can just imagine Mike
throwing shade.
Whoa! K-eruption right here with Malcolm. Whoa! Okay. Woo! Sorry.
Disrupting the
I mean, it's something I can imagine Mike forcing Fad to do because of what he's got. But I mean, anyway. But yeah, this was the match was good. It should have been the undercard of Bad, but because of this corrupt individual, it became the main event. But yeah, and as I'm wondering, and I'm thinking of how Fad's going to get out of this. I wonder if he's going to make a deal with Christian, because and go and make a contract making him commissioner again, but in which case Mike can't utilize Fad to try and move the pieces anymore. So
yeah,
that could be a way that Fad's getting out of that.
So I thought this match, I think this was, for one thing, it's what I've always said about Mike, which is his record in Irrigation never reflected how he is as a player. I think this showed he's a dominant player. And I disagree. I don't think he's skirting around Rachel. I just think he wants to face her in the #1 contenders match. I think he wants it to be, I beat all these people, now I'm going to beat this person who kind of stopped me from getting into that four-way to get the belt before. Now I'm going to beat her, and then I'm going to beat him, and that's what I think he's going. And honestly, with this whole Fad thing, this is just my own fanboying. I want, if any of you guys ever seen Batman Mask of Phantasm, there's a great scene when one of the mobsters who the Phantasm is hunting down a bunch of them turns to the only worse person in Gotham, possibly than Phantasm, which is the Joker. I just want Fad to turn to Dagnino and have to run to Dagnino to protect him from Kalinowski. That's what I want. I think that's how we get Commissioner Dagnino. Is we're gonna have a scene where he's like, I can see it now. It's just the, come on, man, Kalinowski, McWeenie, they're all breathing down my neck. I can't take this, man. And it's just, Tom just turns and goes, I've been waiting for this for a while now. And we have Commissioner Dagnino. I want it to happen.
It'll go to Christian waiting for that.
I don't know.
But then where does Finn stock? Where does Finn stock fit
depending
into
on
this theory?
Alright, but I would just love that, because then I would also love to see, because Tom, I don't think he would take any of Kalinowski's crap. I don't think he would be taking any of these notes or anything, because Tom's a pretty open book. He doesn't really hide anything. Quite literally, that's why he doesn't wear a shirt. He doesn't hide anything. He doesn't care. What could Kalinowski possibly have on him?
But Thad hates Dagnino, I think, more than Fury Kalinowski.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, I disagree with that. Because we've kind of already talked about this, but the discussion point I had down is, what exactly does Mike have on Thad that Thad would do this? What is in that note that he gave him? What is it? What do you guys think? Just Tim, what could possibly Mike have on Thad to put him in this position?
It has to be either, if you look at it as character standpoints, it has to be something very personal and powerful. Maybe a decision he made as a commissioner of the Schmoedown that he hid aside and thinking no one can know about this, and Mike found out somehow and is using that to blackmail him, or something. It has to be something big. If it turns out that it's a picture of Thad riding on My Little Pony at the age of 8 years old, I'm going to be really ticked off. But I would imagine, to go with a character line for it, it has to be something big like that, like a decision he should not have done. Granted, it worked out where no one knew about it, and he just put it back in the corner, and somehow Mike found out, blackmailed him, and say, you don't want this to get out in the public, do you? No, then you're mine. You're doing what I say. Sign the paper.
Malcolm, what do you think that Mike could possibly have on Thad?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm wondering if it's something like the true details of the contract that he made with Christian to become commissioner in the first place. Maybe it's like he made an amendment to the contract without telling Christian, and Mike somehow found out about it and is using that, going, well, if you bow down to my whim, or I'll tell Christian these details.
It's possible. Peter, what do you think?
I know that is out there. Yeah, that I definitely think that it would have to be like an amendment to the contract or something that would automatically give Christian the commissionership back. Like, I think that's what it has to be, and Thad has to avoid that at all costs. Because he's kind of he's used to the power now. So I think that's something that he needs to keep it, and so he would do anything to keep it. But we don't really see that side of him. So. So it would have to be something that would give Christian or somebody the commissionership besides himself.
Hunter, do you think this has to do with commissioner, or do you think it's something else?
I'm going to agree with everyone else that I think there's a clause in the contract that did something that would give Harloff the commissioner spot back. But I do have a theory that the person who found that out and gave it to Mike was Brienne Chandler. Going back to the Spectacular, we saw them drive out the car together. It kind of all ties in. Brienne would find it, give it to Mike, and is trying to kind of control things herself through Mike. So she's like the real mastermind behind this all.
Well, we already know Brienne was not too afraid of giving Thad his own contract, and Thad not reading the... I still don't understand how a guy who writes contracts can't. Honestly, what I think it is is it's all the corruption that has ever happened under Fad's leadership. You know, things like Andrew Guy being sent to prison for tackling Roka, you know, that abandoning father, and Fad being all like, physical like attacks are not allowed, and yet a team was able to smack someone on the head with a whiteboard, and where was Fad? I'm just saying, jerks. No, I can't. Honestly, I don't even know what it could be. It's got to be. I feel like something that Hunter said. I feel like it would be really interesting if this was kind of a Dark Knight Rises thing, where it's Kalinowski is Bane, and Brienne is you know, Talia al Ghul, spoilers, where she is actually controlling all of this, but she's trying to be a good person now. She's trying to turn from her heel ways and be a face, and so this is her way of, you know, and maybe that's the reveal. That would be awesome. Honestly, I don't know. Who knows, but whatever it is, that is just bowing down like a dog. And I really hope he turns to Finstock or Tom or both. That would be even better. I don't know. But before we go on to next week's matches, let's turn it on over to the most annoying person in my life, Vinny, with the fantasy updates. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Vinny here for your Take 3 fantasy updates. First, we got the Take 3 standings. In first place, we got Abe with Super Epic X Team with 442 points. Oh, my. In second place, we got Team Corgi. Still don't know what a Corgi is, but they're in second place, and that's 359 points. Good work, Smith. Good work. In our third place, we got Immortan Jen Small Boys with 353 points. My, Jen, you small boys getting them points. In fourth place, we got the Penguins, Chrissy DeClark, with 243 points. In fifth place, we got something I call Abe all the time, Tiny Carrots, with 234 points. Then we got in sixth place, the loser, Matt, with the Yodi Alliance, with only 208 points, but he's not doing as bad as some guy don't even know called That Movie Geek, who only has 184 points. So, that's the Take 3 standings. Now for the Take 3 trades, no one's traded. Why would anyone trade? I don't know. So, that's it for your fantasy updates. I'm Vinny. You can follow me on Twitter at VinnyStallone76, okay? I'm also thinking of starting my own YouTube channel, you know, little competitor. Maybe me and Raul, we're going to start Take 17. Who knows? We'll see about it. Now get out of here. Thanks so much, Vinny. You're such a kind soul. We are so lucky to have you here. Give me my rent. So we're going to end today talking about next week's matches. We have pretty much, besides Patreon matches, which we don't get into until the week they drop on YouTube, we have just Inner Geekdom. The first match dropping on Tuesday will be Jandrew versus Konopik, I think.
I'm pretty sure it's Nopik.
Nopik?
Yeah, Nopik.
Nopik? Konopik? Who knows? Maybe it's both. And we also have Burnett versus Donica. Ooh, Chris Clark is sweating his boots for this one. He wants to see Burnett win. Honestly, I would like to see Burnett win that one too. Yeah, I mean, Coy Andrews coming back. We'll see how he does in single. I can't remember the last time he was in singles. But overall,
Inner Geekdom.
Yeah, Inner Geekdom. Yeah, Inner Geekdom singles, I mean.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I meant like I was thinking just like 1v1, not like a 5-way. So that's pretty much it. There wasn't, to my recollection, looking on the activity space, there wasn't really any news dropping. We kind of just had Mike Kalinowski be a jerk and call everyone sheep on the page. So I guess if that's news, but so we're just gonna wrap it up here. I want to thank everyone for coming on. This was a great show, and let's tell the good people where they can find you online. Hunter, where can the good people find you?
You guys can find me on my Patreon, my YouTube channel, and my Stardust at Film Nerd TV. Especially join the Patreon because I have to eat. Remember this? I have to eat something. And yeah, thanks guys. And I've broken Tim.
Tim Smith, where can the good people find you online?
You would think Hunter needs to eat to get old, but no. It always brings joy to my heart. Before I have to go be a commish over at Multiplex Entertainment on Facebook and YouTube. Our Twitter is MultiplexYT. You can always find new stuff on there, and Instagram. So if you're a fan of the matches, go watch them on there. And of course, you can always see me also on a lot of these Take 3 reactions, summits, so support Take 3 as well.
Malcolm, where's going to good people find you?
You can find me on Take 3 Productions, doing a bunch of stuff and hosting my show Rankum every Sunday night, and tomorrow night we're doing How I Met Your Mother episodes.
No,
you can find me on
we did
Real
it
Life Movie
last
Game.
night.
This drops on Monday.
We did it last night.
So it just
That's
dropped.
what I meant.
That's okay,
I
Malcolm.
time traveled.
Yeah, guys,
And
you
you
can
can
watch
find
Rankum. It's up now, but you know, Malcolm just likes to talk in present tense all the time. Good on him. Peter, where can the people find you online?
You can find me at my YouTube channel, Kansas Viking Reactions, where I'm doing Schmoedown reactions, Schmoedown reaction highlights. So yeah, go check me out there. And yeah.
What's a Schmoedown reaction highlight? Do you watch our reactions and react to what's reacting to
No,
Schmoedown?
it's basically I take my reaction and edit it down to where it's all the good parts of the reaction. So it's shorter. Yeah. Trying something different, you know?
Why'd you tell people that? Because now they're going to be like, good, there's finally a way to get rid of Matt from the reactions. Success! You guys, as always, can find me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter, MattMovie611 on YouTube, and right here hosting Second Look. New episode is going to be dropping. If it didn't drop yesterday because my computer decided to suck, not export, the video essay on Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom should be dropping soon, and as I announced on the Take 3 page, next month I'm going to be covering Batman Mask of the Phantasm, so get excited. We also have Abe, if you want to plug yourself.
I don't.
He doesn't. You can follow Abe on Take 3. Just, no one cares. And guys, please, as always, like and subscribe to Take 3. Share this video around. We love doing the Reactors Summit, and we would love for more people to watch it because, I don't know, it brings us joy when we get a lot of views, and it'd be cool to get paid to do this, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, leave a comment, leave a like, do all that, share the videos around. Don't worry, Kristen is going to be back next week, or maybe we'll get lucky and she won't, and I'll be back. Who knows?
Oh, shots fired!
Oh, we don't know. But for everyone on the panel, for Kristen Smith, who's not here, I want to thank you all for watching and remind you to take care.
I like to eat raw chicken.